Salut à toutes et à tous. Alors on prend les épisodes de Vampyr. On part sur l'épisode... Je vais vous dire combien c'est, comme d'hab, je me suis en train d'oublier. Truc qui change pas, hein. Alors, la dernière vidéo que j'ai upload, c'est l'épisode 10. Voilà, donc on part sur l'épisode numéro 11. J'ai lancé le minuteur. L'œil était dans l'ambre, acte numéro 1. Voilà. Alors, la dernière fois, on a tué nos premières victimes, tout simplement. Voilà. C'était cool. Enfin, c'était cool dans le sens où on a réussi à les tuer, tout ça, voilà. Mais c'est pas cool dans le sens de tuer des gens. Faites pas ça dans la vraie vie, quoi. Enfin bon, bref. Sinon, on commence à devenir un petit peu plus fort. Faut pas qu'on tue tout le monde en même temps. Faut qu'on essaye de les tuer au fur et à mesure. Et il faut que je trouve de nouvelles formules parce que j'ai pas de quoi traiter les maux de tête. Et ce genre de trucs. Alors, Ps4 Hospital, l'état du quartier, il est stable. Et c'est déjà bien qu'il soit stable, vu qu'on a tué 2 personnes. Alors, il y a tout le monde qui est soit fatigué, soit... Alors, il y a 4 fatigues, un mal de tête et 2 autres fatigues. Donc ça fait 6 fatigues en tout et pour tout. On a combien de traitements pour la fatigue? Pas beaucoup, j'imagine. Mais il y a tout le monde qui est fatigué à Ps4 Hospital, hein. Apparemment, c'est la mode. Alors, les traitements, où est-ce qu'ils sont? Voilà, traitement pour le mal de tête. La dernière fois, ça n'a pas marché, je n'ai pas compris pourquoi. Du coup, on va faire 5 traitements pour la... Ah, si, ça marche, ça marche. Recette inconnue. Ah ouais. Ok. Une fois. 5 et 6. On va guérir tout le monde, vu qu'on est docteur. Voilà. Il y a tout le monde qui est fatigué. C'est pas possible. Enfin, si, c'est possible, vu qu'on est en train de vivre la situation, mais vous m'avez compris, quoi. Enfin bon, bref. Alors. Alors.
It's locked. Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
Ok.
So you're ready to die?
No, I'm not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Ok.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
Mr. Chidana.
S'occuper de tout le monde, soit pour les tuer plus tard, soit... Enfin bon, vous m'avez compris quoi. Lady Ashbury.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for
Okay,
now, Mr.
cool.
Fiddick.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Bon.
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing suicide. Tell me more about what you know.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place, but couldn't.
Why did your son feel so useless when facing the world?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life. He couldn't help but dwell on such things.
Ok, un monde meilleur.
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with him.
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
You're right. Your son's death was not fatal. And unlike many on their own, he is lucky to have you by his side.
I can't give up on him. I just can't. I have conceded many times in my life, but giving up on my son is something I am incapable of.
Ok.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before. But I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Ok. Un petit
Do you
bilan de
require
santé.
medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No. I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Ils sont tous fatigués, dis donc, c'est la mode, hein.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
Ok.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
You don't mind if I search your pockets, do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables. I will not forget you, sir, and I thank you for your generous donation.
Ok. Bon. Logiquement, on va lui en parler, hein.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh?
Ouais.
Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about?
These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
You should show respect for the dead. What about their loved ones who may treasure these items you sell?
The bodies I watch over are the unwanted and undesired, sir. I would never deprive anyone of their family artifacts.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Ouais. Lady H, bah, il faut être niveau 20 pour la tuer. Ouais.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye,
Okay.
nurse. Call me if you need us.
Eh ben, on a du monde à soigner, hein. Alors, qui est-ce qui reste? Milton et Oswald. Ça, c'est Milton.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. And thanks anyway.
Goodbye, Milton.
En fait, j'ai compris. J'ai pas appuyé sur R1 la dernière fois. Fallait que j'appuie sur R1 et une fois que j'aurais appuyé sur R1, j'aurais pu le soigner. Ce gars. On va lui parler.
Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong.
I'm certain you have your reasons. But let me assure you, I'm not like other doctors you may have consulted with.
It is true. You risked your life to save me, after all. It would be impolite to refuse your counsel.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher.
Bien. Alors, ça donne quoi? La pharmacie, trouver la cause de la mort. On va aller au truc de la pharmacie. Je crois qu'on va partir sur les missions secondaires. Alors. C'est Doc. Ah ouais, ils deviennent plus faciles en fait. Voilà. Ouais, c'est par là du coup. Ok. De la baston, enfin. J'en ai eu marre de soigner tout le monde. Ok. Appartement des Goswick.
It's locked, all right.
Ok. Bon. Allez à la pharmacie.
best turn around if I were you. It's a leech! Die, vermin!
Ouais, le jeu il devient plus facile quand on tue les gens, c'est vrai. Alors. C'est ça la pharmacie? Ah ouais. Non, j'aurais dû choisir une autre technique. Non, non, ça va, ça passe. Ok, GG.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Ah ok, d'accord. Et pour ça? Ah non. Du coup on va terminer la première mission. Ouais. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé à Taureau Strickland? Ça c'est les docks.
It's locked, all right.
My guess is they're recruiting for some vengeance.
In the meantime, the boys are waiting for
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Bon, lui il est mort. Eh ben, vous étiez nombreux.
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this.
19, 16 et 16.
Someone's playing a role.
Bien.
You won't get me here!
Voilà.
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy! I've had no news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see. But as I said...
Ah, ok, c'est pour ça alors.
Your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Ok. Cool. On l'a sauvé. Après des batailles qui étaient tout sauf évidentes. Se battre contre un ennemi niveau 19 quand on est niveau 14... Par contre, se battre contre des ennemis qui sont de niveau inférieur, c'est trop facile.
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Bouteille de parfum, bouteille d'alcool, de l'argent, ouais. Il y a un peu de tout en fait. Heureusement qu'on l'a sauvé. Miroir en argent, étui à cigarette. J'imagine que tous ces trucs, une fois recyclés, rapportent de gros. Alors, sinon, on avait une mission secondaire, c'est pour ça qu'on est venu ici. Celle-là, effectivement. Ok, allez, on y va. Est-ce qu'on part par là? Ouais, en vrai, on peut. J'ai cru que c'était une arme, bon. Alors, les rues sont bien nettoyées. On y va. Ok, les rues ils sont plus sûrs sans les gardes de Freewen. Alors...
Perhaps I should have considered the offer.
Taureau, salut.
Good evening, Doctor.
And good evening to you.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course.
I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a... lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
You have my support, Dr. Strickland. I know exactly what it feels like to battle an unknown disease with only your mind and force of will to help you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You don't know what that means to me.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I
can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Still standing after this epidemic.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Aykroyd.
Non, allez, on va aider Taureau. Même si c'est dangereux.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Bien sûr.
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive, or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
Clé du bureau du docteur.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Ok, bien. Dossier médical de Monsieur Goswick. Il n'a pas contracté la grippe espagnole.
It's locked. It's locked, all right. It's locked. At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula.
On va partir sur ça du coup. Trouver la cause de la mort. Ok, on y va. Quelque chose me dit que le retour là-bas il sera un petit peu chaud. Mais bon, quelque chose me dit qu'on va réussir aussi. Voilà, du sang.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked. Tippett has made...
Ok. Bon. Voilà. Et voilà. Ok, d'accord. On va partir interroger du monde. Commence par elle.
Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening, Doc.
Ah non, non, pas elle.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
C'est Nurse Gwyneth Barra. Voilà. Ils sont généralement à l'extérieur tous les deux.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any...
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Okay.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Okay.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate.
Gwyneth a couvert l'erreur médicale de Corcoran Tippets. Bien.
Take your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippets in our situation?
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the rules.
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippets.
Ok.
Goodbye, Nurse. Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening,
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippets. Shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippets is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippets must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
On a perdu un indice.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Ah oui, il fallait que je fasse un choix. Elle nous a donné de l'argent pour... Ouais. Prendre la ferme, quoi. Rappeler les choses par leur nom. Ok. En ultime, on a ça et on a quoi d'autre? On a les abysses. Bon, niveau mission secondaire et tout, les enquêtes, on a tout fait ici. Hein. C'est là on a fait sa mission secondaire, ensuite on l'a tué. Ouais. Voilà. Mine de rien, le temps il passe vite. Hein. Alors.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
On va voir le Y. Et on va quand même le revoir une autre fois pour être sûr, on sait jamais. Le fameux Y de sauvegarde, voilà. Tranquille, cool. Donc là, on est sûr de la sauvegarde. On retourne au menu principal. En tout et pour tout, il me reste 2 vidéos à faire. Du coup, là, on arrive à la fin de la vidéo. Donc, j'espère que la vidéo vous a plu et on se voit dans d'autres vidéos. Allez, à plus. Bye bye.